Greetings, beloved light warriors. It's Saratoga, and this is your weekly focus card reading for the week beginning February 8th through February 14th, 2021. And if you're new to my channel, you should know that I do this every Sunday so that we can reset our focus and our energy for the coming week ahead. And then I do my regular on-camera videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Okay, let us get into this coming week. And by the way, we also have a new moon on Thursday, February 11th, a new moon in Aquarius, if that's something that interests you. I'm probably not going to be talking about that today, but I just thought I would mention that. All right, so today we have 3 cards, which is awesome. I usually just do 1 card, but today we have 3. So let's start with the first card, which is Watching Clouds. Lie back, rest, and relax. Now these 3 cards are connected, so I'm going to be speaking about each one in the context of the fact that they are all connected with a larger message. So this one might sound like a need for self-care. If you want to take it in that way for yourself personally, as I always say, feel free to interpret any of these cards in your own way if you feel that they apply in additional ways to you on a personal level. Always feel free to do that. So this one is lie back, rest, and relax. And because the next card we're going into is Discovering Truth, which is a powerful card, you stand in the light of truth, this is really a first step in discovering that truth. So in that context, I want to suggest that lie back, rest, and relax means relax your hold on what you previously thought was the truth. Lie back, rest, watching the clouds. That depicts, you know how, I don't know if you guys have ever lay in the grass and watched the clouds, but it's a very relaxing thing to do. It's kind of like your mind is just at ease, your body relaxes. So that's the feeling from this card. Just, I think there's even water. Yeah, in the distance, there's water here. It's just a whole kind of letting go sort of a feeling. So when you let go, it's really important to let go if you want to discover a higher truth, a truth that you have never really tapped into before. Here's why this is important. Because if you don't give yourself some space to just relax and let go, if you don't give yourself that space, you're going to be searching for a higher truth through a whole lot of filters. Because what happens is we acquire a lot of ideas and beliefs over time about what we think the truth is, what we've been told the truth is, plus all of our previous experiences growing up. We have been given a tremendous amount of information that is now being stored in our minds. And all of that information acts as a filter. So what the mind tends to try and do when looking for a truth is to look for things that correspond with what is already known. Sometimes that works. It doesn't always work though when you're looking for something that's far more ultimate, when you're looking for something that is well beyond the craziness we're all experiencing on this planet. Because I think right now, a lot of people are having trouble finding a real solid anchoring truth that you know in your gut, in your heart is real, is accurate. So I think the first part of this message is give yourself a break. Don't be afraid to relax and just kind of let it all go. Refresh your mind, refresh yourself, release. Even if it's just a temporary release. If you don't want to let go of everything, you don't have to, of course, but you can let go of your grip on everything. You can relax your hold on what you think you know. You can just kind of lay back and just envision that, how effortless that really is, how effortless it is to just let it all go. Even if you just tell yourself, I'm just letting it go temporarily because I kind of want to see what that feels like. Okay, so that's the first part of the message. Now the second card says, Discovering Truth. You stand in the light of truth. This card is very central. That's why it's in the middle. I actually pulled these cards in this particular order, so it's kind of cool how this one ended up in the middle, because it is the central message. We need to discover the truth. I love this card. It says, you stand in the light of truth. What does that mean? It means wherever you are, that truth is within you. You are standing in the light of the truth right now. But you see, what this person is doing at the forefront of this card is this person is going with confidence in the opposite direction of everybody else, right? So you see these two other guys, and they're going to follow that path to those villages off in the distance. It's kind of like that's where everybody lives. That's where everybody goes with their consciousness, with their mind, with their thinking. And how funny we have a whole bunch of sheep, right? In those hills. I think that's kind of symbolic, right? Of following the herd. So these two guys that are just following the herd, and they're going over to where everybody else is, and you know, the whole mass consciousness, I guess you could say, they don't look real strong, do they? They're just sort of like, you can see the one guy is kind of old, and I don't really think that image means that he's old as much as depicts a sense of weakness. You know, it's not, he needs a cane to hold himself up. He's not super strong, because when you follow the crowd, you become weak. You become dependent on what the crowd is doing. You're always having to look outside of yourself to see where the crowd is going in order for you to know where you should be going, right? That's not a very fun way to live. So this guy in the forefront, he's standing up straight. He looks strong. Could be a he or a she, really. And you can see on this person's back, they have everything they need with them. And looking straight ahead, and they don't know where they're going, right? They're not going where everybody else is. So what does that mean? Does that mean physically going somewhere else? No, it means standing in the light of your own truth. You're not following the crowd. See, the direction that everybody else is going in is not really so much a physical direction as depicted here. It is a consciousness direction. It's a direction that says the direction of my life, the direction of my thoughts, the direction of who I think I am and what I think it all means. That direction is determined by someone and something other than myself. Now, just contemplate that for a moment. Doesn't that sound a bit risky? I think it sounds kind of high risk to live like that, to be dependent on the crowd, whatever crowd that is for you. Maybe it's the people you feel are your peers. Maybe it's mass consciousness. Maybe it's, for some people, maybe it's what the media says. It doesn't matter. It's whatever it is for you. If you are living your life in a context, in a paradigm that unconsciously says, unconscious because it's so habitual, and you wake up to that paradigm and you realize, you know what, I'm letting a whole bunch of other people decide the course of my life. I'm letting a bunch of other people decide what my truth is. Maybe it's I'm letting a book somewhere decide what my truth is. I don't know who wrote the book. I don't know the person. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's a book and it's popular, so I'll just let that book decide my truth for me. You see what I mean? When you really pay attention to that, you're really living a very risky kind of existence because you have no way to know if what they're saying and believing in is true. So a much more secure way to live is to discover your own light within, to discover the actual connection you have with the real universe. You stand in the light of truth. Wherever you stand, the light of truth exists within you. That's what this means. That is security, you guys. That's where security is. That's where reality is. Now, I know that can seem very difficult at first, because when you spend an entire lifetime being conditioned to look outside yourself, to obey, to comply, to be like everyone else, to think like everyone else, whether it's thinking spiritually like everyone else, whether it's thinking socially like everyone else, it doesn't matter. When you spend your whole life conditioned that way, and it is such a habit, and then you try to look within yourself for the truth, you're like, where is it? I don't see any truth in there. I just see a whole bunch of emotions and thoughts and stuff, right? So it's okay if you don't have a sense of that light and that truth within you. You should recognize that that is understandable. It's understandable because you've been so conditioned to look in the wrong direction. So just like a muscle that's never been used, it takes time to develop that muscle, to develop that strength and that flexibility until that muscle becomes healthy again. So in the same way, you as a being need to be patient with yourself. You need to give yourself a chance. You need to be consistent and meditate. And ultimately, you know what? The simplest thing I can say to you guys to make this work for you is you've got to start to validate yourself. You've got to validate your intuitive feelings, your nudges about that come from inside of you, and not just turn a blind eye to it because you're so focused on the outside all the time. Okay, so that's a lot to say about this middle card, but I think it's important because I think this middle card is the foundation of this entire message. So let's now go to the third card, which says, Wise Leader. You are a beacon for others. A beautiful culmination to this message, because when you stand in the light of your truth, of that truth within you, you become wise. You become a leader. You don't necessarily become a leader in the sense of, now I know the truth and I am going to inform the rest of the world what the truth is. See, then you're just like, that's the same thing that's been happening all along that's made everybody get so confused. No, a wise leader is a beacon. What does that mean, a beacon? It means you are an example. You exist as an example. And if you see the woman in this picture, she has power, she has strength, she's holding the light of her truth. So she is an example, a radiating power of light and wisdom. The wisdom to know where that truth really is. I mean, gosh, I'm just trying to think of a really simple way to say this. It's like, if you are connected to the universe, the actual universe, not the manufactured beliefs about the universe, but the actual universe, the actual source of all that is, the real one, which can't be talked about in words, but the actuality of that truth. When you are connected to that, what more could you ask for? There's nothing more to ask for. I mean, that is everything, right? So that's really, I think, the overall message of these three cards. Take some time, sit back, relax, rest. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a rest from trying to mentally figure everything out. Just breathe a sigh of relief. Let it all go. You can get it back again if you need it, right? But just give yourself a chance to let go. Let the light within you shine. Let the light within you radiate and make itself known to you on a conscious level. That's where the inspiration is going to come from. That's where that divine wisdom and messages from your heart are going to come from. It's not about agreeing with other people or having them agree with you. It doesn't matter. Who do you want as your guide in life? Think about this. Who do you really want as your guide? You want the ultimate source. right? You want the actual universe to be your guide, the real thing. You want the real thing. You don't want a manufactured substitute that you can put in your head and think about in a conceptual way. You want the actual truth. So that's what the second card is. And then you become a beacon of light for others. Then you are clearly wise, but you have a wisdom that is transcendent of language. Because all of these well, I better not go off on languages, or then we'll really go off on another tangent here. Maybe I'll have to talk about this another time, what language is. We rely far too much on our earth-based languages, because real wisdom is transcendent of all of our languages on this planet. So don't be afraid to have the wisdom in the inner core of knowing and strength and power that doesn't require language to validate its existence. Okay? So ultimately, it's about being a leader. You can take this whole reading. If you're a starseed, a light worker, a wayshower, if you just have a sense that you came to this planet to help out in this dire times that everyone's in, through this ascension process, if you feel that you came here to help, the best thing you can do is be a high vibrational beacon of light that just emanates wisdom and certainty and clarity and beauty, the beauty of your inner being. Okay, so I think that completes this for this week. That's a very powerful message for all of us. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week ahead. I think that's pretty much it. I'm sending you guys so much love and light and beauty, a sense of beauty and inspiration. And I look very much forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Have an awesome week, everyone. Namaste.